We can take feasibility first. Or else, let's say first one is strategic fitness. Strategic fitness in the sense whether these strategies are in line with company capabilities, right, or company strength, right? So that is what we will be taking. That is the first factor. Then we will be taking time that it takes to implement. Time to implement. That means speed of implementation. Here the meaning is fitness to company capabilities or vision. Then we'll take another factor, maybe risk level. That means what are the possible risks that it can pose through each of these strategies, right? So then we have 3 strategies and we have identified 3 factors. Then against these 3 factors, we are going to rank. But before that, we have to identify weightage for these factors, right? So that means weightage in the sense among these 3 factors, which factor is more weight? What is the secondly weighted factor? Likewise, out of 100, we are going to give some weightages, right? So let's say this one is the most one. So I will be giving 0.5 weightage. These are weightages. These are the key factors. And this is the weight. Then time to implement, 0.2. Risk level, 0.3. So out of 1, so out of 100, this is what the weight that I have given. It's depend on the company, weight can be differ. And we are not going to always take these 3 factors. Factors also can be differ, depend on the company and goal. Right, so these are the key factors. These are the weightages that we have identified. Then against these weights, against these factors, we are going to rank these 3. So I will draw a table here. So first you can write these points. Right, then okay, so here we'll be taking key factors. Then weight. Then we have strategy 1. Strategy 2. Then strategy 3. Then we are going to put these factors here. So strategy 1 is expansion, strategy 2 differentiation, strategy 3 cost leadership. Right, I will put here expansion. This one cost differentiation. This one cost leadership. Right, then we are going to rank them according to a scale. So scale we can take, Likert scale, maybe a 5-point Likert scale, where first will be very poor, average, strong, very strong. Likewise, or maybe yes, like that we can come up with the scale. Again, this scale can be differ depend on the company. So let's say we are going to take a scale, 5-point Likert scale. So we will be giving 1 mark to very poor, second poor, third average, fourth very good, fifth good. So this is the scale that we will be using. So let's say in terms of strategic fitness, among these 3 strategies, differentiation is the mostly linked with strategic fitness. That means the differentiation strategy is the mostly strategically fit strategy. So because of that, we are going to give 5 to this. That means it is good. Then expansion also we will be considering. Sorry, this is other way around. This one is good. This one is very good. Right. Here then we will be identifying differentiation is the very good, which is at the very good level. Then in terms of strategic fitness, strategy 1 is at good level. This also at good level. Likewise, we will be, after analyzing, we will be ranking them, or we will be putting scale marks. Then in terms of time to implement, expansion will take more time. So we'll put 2. Differentiation 4, good. Cost leadership, very good. Likewise, we can give in relevant to the scale, we will be allocating marks. Then in terms of risk level, we'll be giving here 3. I'm just putting marks, right? Then 4, likewise. So what we have done is, with relevant to these factors, we have given marks to these 3 strategies based on this scale. Right, in terms of strategic fitness, strategy 1 at good level, strategy 2 at very good level, 3 at good level. Then in terms of time to implement, strategy 1 at poor level, strategy 2 at good level, strategy 3 at again very good level, likewise. Then here we are going to get total. So how we are going to get total is, we are going to multiply this value with the weightage plus this value with the weightage. Likewise, we will be doing, we are going to get total values for each strategy. Right, so for the strategy 1, we do have first 4 into 0.5 plus 2 into 0.5, sorry, 0.2 plus we have 3 into 0.3, right? So 4 into 0.5, 4 is the value, 0.5 is the weight, plus 2 into 0.2 plus 3 into 0.3. Then we can get the total value here. Like 3.3. Like that, we will be doing two other two strategies as well. So I will put values. Five into 0.5. So these are the calculation. So it is 4.2. So we are getting two similar values. In that case, we have to use another key factor to evaluate these two, right? So what will be normally happening is once we get the final value here, we are going to check which is the highest value, which strategy received the highest value. So according to this example, there are two strategies with the highest values, which is we do have strategy 2 and strategy 3. The first place, that means we can rank strategy 2 and 3 at first place, and the second place is strategy 1, right? So when we have similar values, we have to take another key factor apart from these three, again to evaluate these two. If we have taken the different values for all three strategies, then we can clearly identify which one is more suitable, which is the secondly suitable, and which one is thirdly suitable, right? According to this example, we do have similar values for 2. In there, we will be taking another factor. If not the case, if there are 3 different values now, for example, let's say this is 4.8, Then strategy 3 is the one with highest value, which means this is the more suitable strategy. This is the second suitable, and this is the third. So we can give rank to this one first, this one second, this one third, likewise. So that's what we will be doing in ranking method. We will be taking key factors, we'll be adding weight to them based on the worth. Then we are going to rank them according to a scale, or value them according to a scale. And then once we get the final value, we are going to rank. So the one with the highest value is the first place. That's what we call a ranking method. Right. So then to measure suitability, we can use TOS matrix. Second one, ranking method. Third one is decision tree analysis. Right. I will go to third one. So this is ranking method. Here in decision tree, we are not going to put values. You may have learned decision trees previously with some calculations, but here I'm not going to include values, just a simple decision tree. I will take one example here in relevant to what we have done last week. We have learned ends of matrix last week. Right, in relevant to that, I will give you one example. So in ends of matrix, if you can remember, we have developed, we can identify different strategies in terms of whether we are going with existing product or new product, existing market or new market. Based on that, in ends of matrix, it has clearly given what are the possible strategies. And then based on that, we can identify, that means based on which options we are going through, we can identify which strategy is the ideal, right? So we'll take here. First two options in terms of, let's say, market, whether we are going with new market, whether we are going with existing market or new market. Right, that is the first option. First criteria. Here also we will be taking factors. So first factor, first key factor is the market that we are going to operate, whether it is existing or new. Then here, again, we will be taking two options. product. Second factor is product. First factor is market. Second factor is product. So here also we will be considering whether it is existing product, new product. Existing, here also product, existing or new. So based on these, so we have taken two key factors. First is the market that we are going to operate. Second factor is product that we are going to produce. So first one, we do have market, whether it is existing or new, product existing or new. So according to Ansoff matrix, complete this decision tree. I will give you a few minutes. So here what it means, in terms of market, they are going with existing market. In terms of product, they are going with existing product. So then what is the ideal strategy? Write it down here. Then if they go with market, existing market with the new product, what is the ideal strategy? Then they are going with new market with existing product. What is the strategy? If they are going with new market with new product, what is the strategy? So by looking at Ansoff matrix, write down what are the strategies here. In relevant to these four, I will give you a few minutes. So you can refer the last week lesson. Right. So tell me your answers based on ends of matrix. If we are going with existing market and existing product, what is the strategy? Yes, any answers? Okay, I will tell, otherwise it will take time. So in terms of market, if it is existing and if the product also existing, we call market penetration strategy according to ends of matrix. That is the answer here. Then if we are going with existing market with new product, we call product development strategy. This one, product development strategy. Then if we are going with new market with existing product, we do have market development strategy. Then if we are going with new market with new product, we do have diversification strategy. So these are the ideal or the suitable strategies based on. So according to this example, the company has come up with 4 strategies, right? And then to decide which one is more suitable, they have taken 2 factors. First one is what is the market they are going to operate. Second one is what are the product they are going to offer. So based on these 2 factors, they have developed a decision tree to identify which strategy is more ideal among 4. So this is the example. Right. So then those are the tools we can use to measure suitability. First one, TOS. Second one, ranking method. Third one, decision trees. Fourth one is scenarios. Scenarios in the sense it's kind of like a descriptive analysis where you will be taking future possible scenarios. Right. Then next one is acceptability. So the first factor, suitability. Second one, acceptability. So acceptability in the sense whether these strategies, the outcome of the strategies will be meeting the expectation of stakeholders. So I will go back to the slide. Right. This is the second one, acceptability. So in acceptability, we are going to measure whether it is in line with stakeholder expectations. Then to measure acceptability, we are using three factors. First one is return, second one risk, third one is stakeholder reaction. So we are going to first measure what are the returns of each strategy. That means what are the benefits of each strategy that stakeholders can gain. Second one is risk. Risk in the sense, what are the possible future risks that it will impact to stakeholders. And then third one, we will be measuring reaction of stakeholders. That's kind of like a qualitative measure. So in relevant to these tools, these are the different tools or the measurements that we can use to measure acceptability. Right. So some examples for return I will give you here. So the first one we can use return. In there we can measure growth of revenue, maybe profit margins, ROI, dividends. So in terms of these, we can measure return. These are some examples. Return in the sense, what is the return that stakeholder can gain? And also maybe satisfaction also we can take. So these are like financial measurements. Non-financial measurements are also there. Satisfaction of consumers. Then development of employees. These are some examples for return. In terms of these returns, we can compare strategies that we have developed. Right, then next one is risk. Risk examples will be maybe in terms of debt and liquidity, there can be risk. Then in terms of implementation complexities, there can be risk. Maybe resource shortage. Then once we implement the strategy, whether it can lead to losing competitive advantage. So those are some kind of examples for risk. So this is the first one, and acceptability. Second one, risk. Possible risk of each strategies in terms of requirement, high capital. So these are possible, some examples for risk. Right. So then acceptability in the sense we are going to check whether our strategies generate possible outcomes which is in line with stakeholder interest. In there, we can use return risk, and then other one is stakeholder reactions. Here we will be learning something else called stakeholder mapping. Right. We will take a break. After that, I will explain you what is stakeholder mapping, and the last one, feasibility. So up to now, we have discussed to measure the effectiveness of each strategy. We are using SAF factors. In there, we have learned suitability and what are the tools we can use, and also under acceptability, what are the tools we can use, right? So we will have a break. After that, we'll discuss remaining. Okay, we will start again. So have a few more slides to do in this lesson. After completing the lesson, I will be ending the session. Um, so we were discussing about second factor, which is acceptability. In there, I told you we will be using return risk and then stakeholder uh, reactions, right? Then here there is something called stakeholder mapping. This also we can use to identify which stakeholders are more powerful, right? And which stakeholders are more interest toward the company. So to identify the importance of stakeholders, we are using this tool called stakeholder mapping. This also you may have learned in some previously. And as I can remember, this diagram was not available in the slide which I have uploaded to LMS. So it's better if you can write this down. So here we are going to categorize all the stakeholders, both internal and external, to 4 different categories based on 2 factors. So those 2 factors are, first one is level of influence. That means extent to which that they are influenced into the company activities, whether the level of influence is high or low. Then other one is level of interest. That means extent to which that they are interested towards the company, whether it is low or high. Based on that, we can categorize stakeholders into 4 types, right? So you can see here, when the level of influence is high and also the level of interest is high, they are the one who are mostly important to the company. Right, that means ඒගොල්ලෝ කම්පැනි එකට ගොඩක් ඉන්ට්‍රෙස්ට් ඒ වගේම තමයි ඒගොල්ලන්ට high power එකක් තියෙනවා, level of influence in the sense their power. So they are the one that will be mostly important to the company, because they are having high interest toward the company as well as they have more power. So that kind of people we have to manage them closely, right? That is important. When the power is high, when the interest is high, they are the most important ones. So we have to manage them closely. So examples for this type of stakeholders will be mostly company shareholders, managers, top managers, these people. These are the examples. The one with more power and more interest. So it will be shareholders, top managers, simply those who are managing the company. Then next one, level of influence is high, but level of interest is low. ඒගොල්ලන්ට power එකක් තියෙනවා. Highly influence කරන්න පුළුවන් company එකට. හැබැයි they are not that much interested toward company activities. They have less interest. So for them, we have to keep them satisfied because they have a power. Even though they are not that much interest toward the company, they do have power. So then we have to keep them satisfied. So examples will be government. And also financial institutions. Financial institutions in the sense, those who have invested in our company, those institutions. Then we have power is low, but interest is high. They don't have that much power towards the company, but they are highly interested. So that kind of people, we have to keep them informed. We have to provide information to them. So examples will be customers. They are highly interested about company, but they have less power with compared to them. So customers, general public, maybe local communities. Then we have level of influence is low, that means no power and less interest as well. These type of people are the less important stakeholders to the company, but still we do need them. So we have to monitor their action, what they are doing, because it can create some sort of impact to the company. So here we do have normally general public. That means simply society. Apart from customers. These are the examples, and this is how we can categorize stakeholders based on level of influence, which is called power, and level of interest. Based on that, we can identify the importance. Right, then next one is feasibility. So under acceptability, we have that. Then the final factor is feasibility. Feasibility, I told you, the meaning is whether we can practically implement the strategy or not. So we can measure it in terms of our internal capabilities. There will not be any tools that we will be learning under here. So just remember the meaning. So that's all come under strategy evaluation. So strategy evaluation mean we are going to measure effectiveness of strategies. To do that, we are using SAP factors, suitability, acceptability, and feasibility. Then we have learned some tools under that. Then next step in strategic management process is strategy implementation. So once we evaluate strategies, we will be selecting one or two, which is more ideal to the company. Then once we select the strategy, next one is we are going to implement it, or we are going to put it into action. That's what we call strategy implementation. So once we select the strategy, we are going to put it into action, or we are going to implement it. Right, when we are going to implement a strategy, we will face different problems. So these are what the problems are. One is leaders misjudging challenges. That means before implementing, even during evaluation, I told you, we will be going to identify one thing is their risk of each strategies, and also under scenarios, we will be imagining future possible scenarios. So when we are going to identify risk or future possible scenarios, sometimes there can be miscalculation, misjudgments, because what we imagine or what we predict can be differ to what is actually happening. In that case, implementation can go wrong. That's one thing. Another thing is company culture may not match with the requirements of the strategy. In that case, it will be difficult to implement. Sometimes there can be resistance from employees, and structure may not be capable of taking action required by the strategy. Then employees may not that much committed or involved or motivated enough to implement the strategy, because we need their support when we are going to do a certain change within the company. But if they are not involved that much, if they resist, then there will be problems. And skill capabilities may not enough. Resource shortage can be there. And other important thing is, if there is time gap between strategy formulation and implementation, it can highly impact හේතුව අපි implement කරන වෙලාවේදී තියෙන environment එකයි formulate කරන වෙලාවදී තියෙන environment එකයි it can be totally different, right? So if we take more time to implement from the time that we create the strategy, then the environmental analysis which we have done may not be enough, because if there is a huge time gap, environment is something quickly changing. So the point, at the point which we have done the environmental analysis, those results may not be valid at the point we are going to implement the strategy. In that case, there can be issues when we are going to implement. And sometimes management of the company can change. So the ones who formulate the strategy and the ones who are going to implement the strategy can be differ. In that case, there will be issues. So these are some of the problems which we can face when we are going to implement a strategy. Then final part is this. When we are going to implement a strategy, we have to answer 4 questions. First one is what is to be implemented. That means what is the strategy that we have selected. Then who should do the implementation? That means who is the responsible person. It can be one or it can be a team. Then how they are going to do it? That means what are the resources needed? What are the capabilities, skills needed? That one. And also when they are going to do is, that means the time. So we have to identify these 4 when we are going to do the implementation. Right, that's what it's there in this slide. So when you are doing your final assignment, as I told you, you have to first select a goal of a company or else problem. So you have to take Sri Lankan company. Then you have to go through the process. So first you have to conduct environmental analysis. You can select any tool of your choice. Then you have to formulate strategies. ඔයගලන්ට ඕනනම් goal එක තියෙන level එක අපි හිතමු ඔයගොල්ලෝ select කරගන්නේ strategic level, corporate level goal එකක් කියලා. Then you have to come up with the corporate level strategy. If it is a business level goal, then you have to come up with the business level strategy. Likewise, based on the level of the goal, you have to select the strategy. Then you have to conduct strategy evaluation by using SAF. You have to show ඒ කියන්නේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ එක ස්ට්‍රැටජි එකක් නෙමෙයි ස්ට්‍රැටජිස් කිහිපයක් ෆෝමියුලේට් කරන්න ඕනේ. ඊට පස්සේ පෙන්නන්න ඕනේ SAF එක යූස් කරලා ඔයගොල්ලෝ කොහොමද ඒක ඉවලුවේට් කරේ. Then you will be selecting 1 or 2 strategies after evaluation. Then you have to answer to these 4 questions when you are going to implement. So you have to mention what is the selected strategy, then who are the responsible people, and what are the resources needed, and when you are going to implement it. So this is what you have to do in next step. Then final step we will be doing next week, which is strategy review and control. So once that also done, you can start doing final assignment. For the moment also you can start because we have already done 5 steps. Right, then that's it for today. I will not give you any activities since it is online. And next week we will be doing mostly next lesson, that means the final step. And also there are some activities to complete for the assignment purpose, which we will be doing after that. Sorry, not next, yes, next week. Right, then are there any questions? I will share the QR code for you to mark attendance.